From the 97.9 WGBW newsroom, I'm Molly Pittman with this local news update. It's a victory Monday as the Packers open the season at home, beating the Lions 27-13. A Thanksgiving tradition between these rivals returns with a noon game in Detroit on November 27th. Green Bay is back at Lambeau Field this Thursday night for a matchup with Washington. With 24 reported measles cases in Oconto County, the state health department has a new way to track the outbreak. The Wisconsin Department of Health Services has launched a new dashboard. It's updated twice a week, and as of the last update on Friday, the number of measles cases had stayed steady at 24. Repairs on the USS Cobia in Manitowoc are underway. The sub was towed out of Manitowoc on Sunday. It took most of the day to get it to Sturgeon Bay, where it's getting necessary repairs and upkeep. The dry dock is slated to last about 6 weeks. A new report finds that about half of Wisconsin's bridges are in good condition. More than 6.5% are in poor condition. Bridges owned by the state, which tend to include the largest ones, have the highest quality ratings. That's according to data from the Wisconsin Department of Transportation with inspection data that was crunched by the Wisconsin Policy Forum. Bridges are inspected every 2 years and rated on their surface, superstructure, and substructure. Back to school and the Packers win means it's starting to feel like fall. If you're wondering when the leaves might start changing, well, they already have. According to the Fall Color Report from Travel Wisconsin, Green Bay is at 5% color. Trees will hit peak color around the third week of October. News at the top and bottom of the hour all day and on demand anytime at WGBW.FM. I'm Shali Pittman, 97.9 WGBW News.
The Packers with a Week 1 win. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports from Lambeau Field, where the Packers beat the Lions 27-13. Green Bay with an early lead and never let up. Matt LaFleur on finally snapping a 3-game losing streak to Detroit when they played here at Lambeau.
Kind of had their way with us the last 3 times here at Lambeau. I was just really proud, and I think of the energy our guys brought, not only in the first half, but I thought we matched it to start the second half as well.
Packers quarterback Jordan Love threw for 2 touchdowns and 188 yards.
Obviously, I think a big goal for us was to be able to come in here and start the season off fast and start the season on the right note. So to come in here week 1 at home and get a dominant win like that is amazing and exactly what we've been working for. So it feels great.
Now a short week, the Packers host the Washington Commanders this Thursday night. Baseball, Brewers with a win in Pittsburgh, 10-2. Jacob Mizorowski pitched 7 innings and got the win. With sports, I'm Mike Clemens.
Rebuilding and refreshing local radio one station at a time. This Civic Media radio station is proud to be a part of your community. Learn more at civicmedia.us.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. After the chilly temperatures as of late, warmer readings are on the way this week. Tonight, a partly cloudy sky, a low in the low 50s. For tomorrow, increasing clouds, highs in the mid-70s. A chance of showers and storms tomorrow night and Wednesday. It's 69 degrees right now.
For 75 years, the Muscular Dystrophy Association's voices have thundered through the halls of Congress.
For 75 years, we've willed the impossible into existence.
For 75 years, the MDA community has pushed the science,
shifted the narrative,
and established the field of neuromuscular medicine.
And until that day, when this is all a thing of the past,
you couldn't stop us if you tried.
Join us and celebrate 75 years of breakthroughs at mda75.org.
Every 15 seconds, someone is diagnosed with cancer. If it's happened to you or someone you love, the American Cancer Society can help at every step of the journey. Visit cancer.org today.
Missed your favorite show live on air? It's easy to find what you enjoy wherever you listen to podcasts, including Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. And we're always streaming on TuneIn and the Civic Media app.
Jane Matnair and Greg Bach.
A handshake deal with a South Dakota senator to fund public radio. What could go wrong? Brian Wadsworth of Native Public Radio joins.
Broadcasting live from the Civic Media Studios in Green Bay, this is Nightlight with Pete Schwaba, your inside source on everything entertainment from Wisconsin to Hollywood. And now, a man barely 6 feet tall, but a mountain of muscle, Pete Schwaba.
Welcome to Nightlight, ladies and gentlemen. I am Pete Schwaba. I am not a mountain of muscle. Certainly not lately. I feel like kind of a blob. I got to be honest.
A mountain of gelato.
I need to get back in shape. And I will say I'm very excited about this today because I did recently turn over a whole new leaf, a lifestyle change, and I'm eating right, and I'm going to work out more, and I'm 3 hours in, and it's going great. I've already got some gelato, but
nice.
You know,
it's only a 4-ounce little container of gelato.
It's a small.
It's not going to hurt you.
It's a small. And I think I told you, I really did. Like, this is the week I was going to turn over a new leaf, and then my wife reminded me that, our son is coming home for his birthday. We'll have cake. I'm like, well... And I can't just do like when I start a program, I have to be disciplined. If I deviate from it just a tiny bit, it's like, well, I might as well just eat Taco Bell for 7 hours, you know?
You could just say no to the cake.
Isn't that like kind of a D-bag move, though, sort of?
I think it's against the law for birthdays. If there's a cake, you got to eat a little bit of it at least.
It feels like a friend. I could go over and say happy birthday and not have cake. Well, my son makes the drive. I'm going to have cake.
Yeah.
Anyway, welcome to Nightlight, folks. Got a great show tonight. It is a Monday. Finally, we've made it through yet another weekend, and we reconvene here during the week to talk about all the things in life that make us happy. It is great to have you with me tonight as we broadcast here from beautiful City Deck Landing in downtown Green Bay. A gorgeous night. Summer seemed like it was over last week. It seems like it's back, and I'll take that. I think it's and it's supposed to be nice all week. And now we've got NFL here. We've got some new shows we're going to talk about. Two great guests tonight, too. Rocker will be here at 6:35. Rocker is the co-host of WMDX's Max Inc. Radio, and he fills in for Terry Barr here on Bar Band Friday night periodically. Rocker will be here to tell us about a fundraiser, a really cool event that he is helping organize that is open to the public on Sunday, September 14th. We'll talk to Rocker, and he's got music. He's going to share some music with us. That's always fun. And then this Saturday, folks, this is going to be exciting. If you're in the Green Bay area, the Green Bay Film Festival is happening this weekend at the Tarleton Theater. And I'm going to be over there to introduce a film on Saturday and host a Q&A for the film The Anxiety Club. This is a really cool documentary made by Wendy LaBelle, who is here tonight at 7:20. And it explores the connection between anxiety and stand-up comedy. So something I have both of those. I was a comedian. I have a healthy amount of anxiety, I think. Conrad, are you an anxious person?
Sometimes.
What makes you anxious?
Oh, watching the Packers play football.
I knew you were going to say.
Definitely watching the Badgers play football, I'll tell you that.
Boy, halfway through that game, I was like, do Luke Fickell's players hate him? Like, what is happening here?
They turned it around.
Sure did.
That was good. But that first half, that was brutal to watch.
So Wendy will be here at 7:20. And if you're in and around the Green Bay area, or if you feel like a road trip, come to the really cool Tarleton Theater Saturday night at 7 o'clock. The movie looks great. I'm purposely not going to watch it until Saturday night. I'm going to watch it with a crowd, and she's got an appearance by Mark Maron in the film, who's a very famous podcaster and comedian. And Wendy will be here at 7:20 tonight to tell us a little bit about the film and the event. So there you go. We've got a great question tonight. Lots going on. And Conrad Krieger, as you heard, is working the board.
Hello.
As per usual. How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, it's Victory Monday.
What happened?
And the Packers
Did you
won.
watch the Sylvester Stallone movie over the weekend?
No.
The Packers won.
And they did it in style, I'd say.
Yeah.
It was a pretty good win against the Lions, who I thought they were going to be a tougher battle, but I don't know what's going on with them.
Look, I don't know a ton about sports. I like to watch a good sports contest once in a while, but I have to think that my Bears got their coach. And
We'll
the
see
Jets
it,
got
yeah.
their defensive coordinator. They lost a couple linemen. I mean, it can't be the same Lions team. Not to take away from the win, but I feel
Well,
like they're going to struggle a bit.
I do too. After watching that offense, it was kind of rough out there. But I mean, that Packers defense played amazing against the run.
Yeah, and with Parsons, it looks like they've got a dual threat now on the other side too, which is could wreak havoc.
He got his first sack. That was pretty cool to watch.
In the NFC North, yeah. So lots going on though. There's some good shows out now. It is fall, so there's some new color television out there. If you guys are looking for something new to watch, I watched today. I watched Task, the new HBO show. And Jamie McShane, one of the stars of the show, has been on this show, and he told us probably 3 months ago. I think he was headed somewhere to film Task, probably Philadelphia, but for some reason I had Ireland. Maybe that was a different project he was working on. But Task is done by the same creative minds that brought us Mayor from Easttown, which was a really good show. So I'm excited about Task. I watched the first show today. And these HBO shows are great because this was like an hour and 20 minutes. It was like the length of a movie. And it's got Mark Ruffalo and our pal Jamie McShane is in it. So I'm excited. The first episode was good. It takes its time, which I don't mind, but there was a pretty intense scene. And you know what they had? All right, this is weird. I don't get, we've seen these ICE raids and they're wearing masks. I don't get any of that. I saw the movie The Purge years ago. Creepy stuff. I don't know why federal agents wear masks. I'm sure they'll give some BS reason. However, out here on the street today, remember that loud motorcycle we heard? And we were like, what's that guy's problem? Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
2 more drove by, and they had the crazy psycho masks on.
They got to protect their face from the winds,
How about my ears from their mufflers?
Yeah.
I mean, what if you just go out and clothesline one of these guys? Because you feel threatened. I mean, they're wearing masks that are very scary.
Yeah.
Anyway, I digress. This show, Task, has a crew that is robbing place, and they wear those masks. And it's very scary stuff. Pretty intense scene, but it's good. I definitely recommend it.
I saw that it came out. It came out September this last weekend. So
I think last night. Was the first. I think it dropped for the first time.
And I recently, when you were out, I did the beats.
Yeah.
How Mark Ruffalo prepared for that role? Eating Philly cheesesteaks.
He looks a little hefty.
Yeah, he does. He's got Avengers is coming up. Spider-Man's coming up. He's probably had to stop eating the Philly cheesesteaks for those roles.
That's going to be tough. Those are good. However, okay, so this was interesting. My wife and I went and saw Caught Stealing last week or 2 weeks ago. I can't remember, but Austin Butler's in it. Yeah. Zoe Kravitz. It was a good movie. She was reading this article about how Austin Butler put on 30 pounds of muscle for the role. I'm like, okay, because he had to do some underwear scenes. There's a couple love scenes between he and Zoe Kravitz. And she's like, he plays a down-on-his-luck baseball player who was in a horrible car accident when he was 18, right before he used to get drafted by the Dodgers. And his baseball career was over. Now he's a bartender in New York, and it's been like 12 years. And he's chiseled and ripped, and he's an alcoholic. Like, to me, this new generation, like, why would you have to get ripped and in shape for that role? You should be, like, he's a handsome enough guy. If he doesn't have a six-pack, he's still an attractive guy. Like, why are you looking like a superhero for that doesn't match up. Whereas Mark Ruffalo, I bet he put on 30 pounds, just all in his gut, too.
Yeah. Yeah. That's all he said was Philly cheesesteaks. So, that's a pretty good diet to keep.
It's probably a little better than the all gelato diet I'm on.
Yeah.
But he looks like a veteran FBI agent. That works.
That's cool.
My wife had a great point. I don't understand the Austin Butler. Just because he was doing an underwear scene, he wanted to look good. Like, if you're an actor and you're looking like this role, look like the role. You don't. He looks like he could play Spider-Man or something.
Does he still sound like Elvis in the movie?
He did not talk like Elvis.
I know it took him a while to shake that after that movie.
Yeah, I could see that. He's good. I like Austin Butler. I'm not saying like. I did think it was an interesting point, though. But Task is good. Check it out. I did watch also. You know what? I'm going to save this. Let's go to our Nightlight question of the night.
Let's talk about the question.
Okay, question.
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 Pregunta.
Question.
Question.
Hey, I have a question. Questions? This question.
Domanda. Question.
Question.
Questions.
It is National Beer Day. The question is simple, folks. What is your favorite beer? We're in Wisconsin. This is the beer state and the cheese state. But we like our beer. We're known for it. What's your favorite beer? Very easy one tonight. 855-752-4842, 855-75-CIVIC. You can text us on the app and let us know what kind of beer you like to drink. Very easy to use if you don't have the app. You got to get it. All your favorite Civic Media shows, weekday shows, weekend shows, commentary, the news podcast, everything is on the Civic Media app. So check it out. And if you're streaming, you can leave us a stream comment at if you're listening on YouTube, Facebook, or X. Let us know. And drop us a like, give us a follow, whatever you're game for. We would appreciate it. But be part of the show. Let us know what your favorite beer is, and we'll read your text on the radio. I saw what you put.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably known. It's a nice spotted cow.
It's a good one.
And it, nothing beats it on draft, I'd say.
Really?
Yeah.
Over the bottle?
Yeah.
How come?
I think it's, well, you got to have a cold bottle, or not bottle, cup. What can I think? You know what I'm trying to say.
You're in radio, right? Yeah.
It's got to be cold, and just that if there's not a lot of foam on top, yeah, that's a good beer.
Okay. Yeah, it's a great one. I love spotted cow. I'm not even, like I've said it before, I'm not a beer guy.
Yeah.
But I've been around long enough where I've sampled just about everything. I had to choose. This was kind of tough for me because part of me, for nostalgia's sake, and just to be retro, I wanted to say the champagne.
A champagne of beers?
There's nothing like that Miller High Life original bottle with the condensation running down, the colors and the beer. It just, I don't know. It's like a memory from childhood.
Okay.
So, but I didn't say. No, I've got another Schwaba tie, and I like Blue Moon.
Yeah, I mean,
non-alcoholic or alcoholic. It's a great beer.
With an orange.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
Dynamite. But I'll tell you what, Spotted Cow, that's a great one too. I had Stella recently.
Yeah.
Well, a few years ago. I like Stella.
That's good.
It's good stuff. And you know what I've never tried, and now I haven't drank in a while? Modelo. I really want to try Modelo.
Oh, it's so good. I think it's better than Corona.
Yeah, I got to be honest. I tried the non-alcoholic Corona because I know how to party. And not impressed. And I like Corona. But that Modelo, those commercials make me want to have a Modelo. I am going to break down. It's just perfect advertising. All right, when we come back, folks, I'm going to tell you about a show you should probably avoid. Conrad might disagree, but we'll have a spirited discussion. I'll read your texts. And, what's your favorite beer? That's a good one. Also, there was a death in the music industry that we'll talk about, too. This is Pete Schwaba and NIte Lite on the Civic Media Radio Network.
From Hobart to Bay Settlement, 97.9 WGBW.
Why are interscholastic sports called the last classroom of the day? Because they teach students important life lessons like teamwork, accountability, and perseverance. School sports are so much more than a game. They're about developing the whole person. That's why they're an essential part of every student's education.
Encourage your student to participate in the last classroom of the day. Interscholastic sports in Wisconsin. This message presented by the WIAA and the Wisconsin Athletic Directors Association.
Are you looking for ways to give back to your local community? Use volunteerwisconsin.org to find opportunities to volunteer your time with organizations making a difference near you. as we celebrate United Ways Month. We're also celebrating you. Visit volunteerwisconsin.org or get in touch with your local United Way or Volunteer Center to find out more about local opportunities to get involved. VolunteerWisconsin.org is hosted by United Way of Wisconsin and Serve Wisconsin. Paid for by United Way of Wisconsin.
My part-time service in the Army National Guard makes it possible for me to be more for the community I call home. My training helps me at work when I lead by example. The Army National Guard has taught me the value of showing respect to those I come in contact with each day. My service also allows me to be there for my community in ways others can't. I help my hometown recover after nature strikes. My service in the Army National Guard allows me to keep my country and those I care about safe from threats. I also work with a network of professionals that help me succeed and accomplish the mission. Plus, the Army National Guard education benefits make getting a higher education a reality. Being an Army National Guard soldier makes living and serving in my community more rewarding every day. Learn how you too can live and serve part-time close to home by visiting nationalguard.com.
Sponsored by the Wisconsin Army National Guard. Aired by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association and this station.
The Elder Care Locator is here to help you live your best life as you age at home. Our call center advisors are ready to connect you with trustworthy local experts. Help is just a phone call away at 1-800-677-1116.
This is Pete Schwaba and NIte. That Rick Davies passed away, one of the founders of Supertramp, and great tune. We're going to ask our first guest, rocker, about Supertramp. I believe he's a fan, as am I. Their stuff just has such a great, unique sound, too. Like The Long Way Home, great song. And there's all these big hits they have, but even their B-sides are outstanding. I was in the store last night, and if you want to hear B-sides from the 80s, go shopping in Marinette, Wisconsin. Every grocery store will transport you back with a song you didn't really miss. But I'm walking around, and I hear Steve Woodwind all the time. I hear Bryan Adams all the time. Bryan Adams has some great songs. But I don't need to hear Cuts Like a Knife. Give me Summer of '69. Play the A-sides. It's been 40 years. You can play the A-sides. You don't have to carve a niche. The supermarket DJs. Our question of the night, folks. What is your favorite beer? It is National Beer Day. We like our beer here in Wisconsin. Conrad says Spotted Cow. I had a tie between the champagne, a really ice-cold champagne of beers. Miller High Life, of course, is what I'm talking about. And Blue Moon. Kind of a newer beer. It's funny, Corey Hartman commented on my Facebook post, and he commented with the exact words of the song I was referencing, High Life Again by Steve Winwood. And he wrote like 2 lines of the song. I'm like, how did he know that's what I was? But that song is on every damn time I go into the grocery store. Unbelievable. I see a question of the night. What's the most depressing song to hear when you're shopping?
You know, I wear headphones when I'm shopping, so.
Why, to drown out the fanfare?
Well, they play my own music while I'm shopping.
What do you play when you shop?
Just a mix. I have like a playlist that goes on for like 3 days. So just whatever. Yeah, there's a playlist I have that I'm like, I like that song.
You ain't running
Toss it
out.
in there.
All right. Our question tonight, as I said, is what's your favorite beer? Let's read some social media responses. Our pal Rich Tallarico says Blue Moon or Stella. Next time I see Rich in person, Rich and I will toast a Blue Moon. No question. And then here, my buddy Vince Moranto, great Chicago comic. He's been on the show. He said, talk about taking a question seriously. Here's Vince's response. Vince says, okay, here we go. For everyday beers, hams with meals. Land Shark, Miller High Life. Summertime, PBR. Colder weather. Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. Okay. Summertime is Miller High Life. I think I was reading those out of order. Colder weather is PBR. Why would PBR? Is that a little heavier maybe?
I think it's a little heavier than a light beer.
Okay. And then he says seasonal, Sam's Oktoberfest, winter solstice. Recently, however, I've discovered, I don't even know how to say this, Yingling?
Yingling, yeah.
Yingling,
That's a great beer.
Really? He says amber, in parentheses, and finally 25-ounce Bud Ice, around $1.09 when I'm broke. That was the most comprehensive text possibly we've ever had, certainly on social media. Thank you, Vince. Outstanding stuff. I don't know. Summer, I'd probably go. It used to be like a Corona with the lime.
Yeah, I'd say Modelo for myself, or a summer shandy.
Oh, summer shandy's good. I forgot about summer shandy.
I'll say anything from Line and Kugel's is one of my favorite beers.
You know, they used to make years ago. They made a summer shandy watermelon flavor.
I don't think I tried that.
It was out briefly. I want to say it was out one summer, and my friend Robin Corwin, who's a neighbor, she said, it's really good. I tried it. I liked it. I had it one more time, and then the next summer, I think I had to look all over for it, and I did find it, but it was obviously like an experiment.
Yeah.
I thought it was really refreshing.
They do that like every year. They release something new.
Okay.
For the summer.
John on social media says, any good microbrew is great. A good wheat or blonde ale always hits the spot. Minocqua Brewing Company has some great options and stands for great causes. Well, that always helps when you can spend some money and you don't mind where it's going. Thank you, John. Wonderfully Wisconsin, our pal Paul Vandenplas says, Dark Helmet from Titletown has long been my favorite. Great introduction to dark beer for people who are typically scared to try anything on that end of the spectrum. It's hard to go wrong with any Wisconsin craft brewery right now. So many out there making some incredible beer. Well, he would know. Paul is... Give Paul a follow. Wonderfully Wisconsin. He is all over the state finding great burgers and cookout food and drinks, and he is in the process of compiling a best cheeseburgers in Wisconsin list. So we'll be eagerly awaiting that. I think he's getting close.
I think you should try my cheeseburger.
Conrad's Home Cheeseburger?
Yep. It'd make a run for its money.
Great name for a restaurant, actually. Conrad's Home Cheeseburger. Jeff Schmidt says, Hazy Rabbit from Lakefront Brewery. Okay. Is that in Milwaukee?
Yes, I believe so, yeah.
Oh, great responses. I knew we were going to get good beer responses. Rocker coming up in just a few minutes. He's going to tell us about a really cool fundraiser. He is co-sponsoring with a couple other people, and it is open to the public, and we'll talk a little bit about Supertramp when he is here. Going to the text line to answer your question or to read your answers to our question of the night in the 414, anything but Jacob's Best. Well, that's probably a good answer because I don't even know what he's talking about. So I haven't heard of Jacob's Best.
Neither have I.
This is probably a bad beer. Al in the 608 says, free. Yeah, okay. I'm with you, Al. If it's free, it's me. Free beer. Conrad's mom says, my favorite beers I miss in Wisconsin is the Blue Bobber from Fox Brewery or a Spotted Cow. You vouch for your mom there?
And Blue Bobber's great beer. It's blueberry. It's super good.
Ooh, I like blueberry in beer. You know what I had over the weekend? I was trying to be good, so I got nuts instead of chips for a snack.
Yeah.
Blueberry almonds.
Ooh.
Really good.
I haven't tried those, but I've seen them on the shelves.
Very good stuff. Dave on the stream says, a cold one. How about New Glarus? Fat Squirrel. Great one, Dave. And he says Liney's made a beer called Big Butt Doppelbock. I'm just going to take Dave's word for it that that's a good beer. We are coming back with our pal Rocker after the news. It's Pete Schwaba and Nightlight on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Come out again, it's raining again. Oh no, my love doesn't end.
97.9 WGBW and WGBW.FM. As Wisconsin is saying the word bag instead of bag. This is the Civic Media Radio Network.
From the 97.9 WGBW newsroom, I'm Shali Pittman with this local news update. Packers fans are still celebrating after a win against the Lions at Lambeau Field. The Sunday afternoon matchup, the first season opener at home since 2018. And defensive end Micah Parsons, who just joined the team from Dallas, is calling his reception by the fans, quote, a blown-away moment, unquote. Green Bay is back at Lambeau Field this Thursday night for a matchup with Washington. A cheese manufacturing plant in Suamico has announced a timeline for layoffs of hundreds of workers. The Green Bay Press-Gazette reports that Saputo Cheese will begin phased layoffs of about 240 workers starting in November. It's moving its packing jobs to southeastern Wisconsin. If you're in the city of Green Bay, start rounding up your trash now. Next week is one of the city's quarterly overflow collection weeks. That means in addition to what's in your cart, you can also put up to 4 garbage bags of trash on the curb for free collection. That doesn't include appliances, electronics, or construction trash. The Kewaunee City Council is set to meet tonight. They'll take up a proposal to prepare an underwater survey of the Kewaunee Marina and Boat Launch. It's expected to cost more than $5,000. They'll also decide on plans for a Christmas parade and hear a population estimate. Heart disease is the leading cause of death in the U.S. It's also largely preventable. Here in Green Bay, Mayor Eric Genrich is encouraging people to get at least 30 minutes of activity a day. And every Tuesday in September, he's hosting a walk at City Hall. Just meet tomorrow at noon at the corner of Walnut and Jefferson. News at the top and bottom of the hour all day and on demand anytime at WGBW.FM. I'm Shali Pittman. 97.9 WGBW News.
On your entertainment beat, I'm Pete Schwaba. Rarely do you see a documentary where there is nothing negative said about the subject. That's because many documentarians pride themselves on their objectivity. Having said that, apparently there is nothing negative in a new documentary about actor-comedian John Candy because he was such a swell guy. I Like Me is directed by Colin Hanks, who never shared the silver screen with Candy, but his dad Tom starred opposite Candy in Splash and Volunteers. Something interesting viewers will learn about Candy in this doc was that John Candy, who weighed over 300 pounds, never liked to get easy laughs because of his weight and refused when asked to do scenes shirtless. He was funny enough and relied on his incredible talent as an actor and comedian. John Candy died in his sleep on the set of Wagons East in 1994 at the age of 43. I Like Me drops on Prime October 10th. For more showbiz fun, tune in to Nightlight with me, Pete Schwaba, weeknights from 6 to 8 p.m. on the Civic Media Radio Network.
As Wisconsin is cheering on the Brew Crew. This is the Civic Media Radio Network.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. After the chilly temperatures as of late, warmer readings are on the way this week. Tonight, a partly cloudy sky, a low in the low 50s. For tomorrow, increasing clouds, highs in the mid-70s. A chance of showers and storms tomorrow night and Wednesday. It's 69 degrees right now.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
You are never far away from your favorite radio station. We're always streaming on TuneIn and the Civic Media app. And if you missed your favorite show or game, listen to a podcast of it anytime on the app or our website, civicmedia.us.
Being blind doesn't look how others may think. Retinitis pigmentosa aimed to overwhelm my family.
It tried to cut me down. I know where to find support.
Learn more at fightingblindness.org, a public service message from the Foundation Fighting Blindness.
Jane Matnair and Greg.
Welcome back. I'm Pete Schwaba. This is Nightlight. So great to have you with me, folks, on this gorgeous Monday night here in the state of Wisconsin. We made it to Monday, folks. You made it. You made it through a tough weekend. I was just talking next door to, I went over for a small small gelato, which is forgivable, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
And Jocelyn said she had such a busy weekend because she's got like 3 kids and there's nobody in there. So I'm like, sometimes that's how it is. Your weekend is so busy, you need to get to the week to kind of chill out a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I get it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to welcome our first guest of the night. And it's time to light it up right with the Nightlight first guest of the week. Brought to you by Chicken or the Egg Photography. Chris specializes in food, event, music, and product photography for businesses across Wisconsin and the Midwest. See what he can do for you at chickenortheeggphotography.com. Chris was a fun guest. Remember that?
Yeah, that was a fun
We'll
segment.
have to bring him back. But it is now my pleasure for our first guest of the week, brought to you by Chicken or the Egg Photography. Co-host. He is the co-host of WMDX's Max Inc. Radio. He's also a musician and all-around swell guy, and he fills in here from time to time when Terry Barr can't make it for Barman Friday nights, and he is our pal, Rocker. Hey, buddy.
What's happening?
Not too much. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. Thanks for having me on, Pete. Appreciate it.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I know you got a really cool thing coming up here on Sunday, and we'll get to that. I have to ask you, though.
What's my favorite beer?
Yes, you're a Wisconsin guy through and through, whether it's music. I know you're a huge Packer fan, whatever. What is your favorite beer, Rocker?
You know, I was thinking about this question, and I thought, I wanted to go back and think about a throwback and what really kind of started out the craft beer industry and what really got me into sampling all the just millions of beers that there are nowadays was Pete's Wicked Ale. Do you remember that beer?
I remember the name. How old? When was that from?
That was back probably the early 90s, late 80s. Okay. Before Pete's Wicked Ale, you used to have import beer bars where you would go to these bars and they would import crazy beers from other countries, obviously, because here we only had the champagne of beers and beers like that. Right. And, you would drink it and you would check off each one on the list. This one from Denmark, this one from Canada, this one from Britain.
Nice.
And, and then that's when the kind of craft beer really came back. Was Pete's Wicked Ale was in my mind, one of the first ones that really, turned that corner. And after them, there's been just so many. But I also think of my childhood as Moosehead. I don't know if you remember Moosehead, Canadian beer. Name. Oh, really, really good. And of course we had Jacob's Best, somebody said, and yeah, that was like a horrible beer by Pabst way back, I think in the 80s. And that was in the days of Ondecker and Stroh's. You might remember those beers, pretty funny though.
I remember the Stroh's commercial. I remember was the guy crawling through the desert and he's about to die. And somebody shows up with a big glass of water and he says, "No, thanks. I was really hoping for a Stroh's."
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Alone, I forgot about that one.
The best beer ever, but obviously it didn't make it. But yeah, my uncle used to be a salesman for Schlitz here in Milwaukee. And
oh yeah.
All those Wisconsin beers, some of them you got when you got to college, like whether it was Milwaukee Light or like Rhinelander beer or Blatz, Old Milwaukee. Yeah, like so many beers. And you didn't care when you were that age. Just like, it's just beer. Let's do it,
And what Blatz would do to you when you're a rush on Langdon Avenue in Madison at the frats, 25 barrels of Blatz, it's not good.
It's not good. Well, we've matured since then, Rocker. So it's great to have you here. Tell us about this really cool event you have coming up this Sunday. It's a fundraiser, but it's open to the public.
That's right. It actually is. So I guess so. The fundraiser is for Big John. Big John is a drummer here for a band in Madison, Go Play God, and he was hospitalized for I think about a year with some severe diabetes and had to have his leg amputated and at the knee. For a drummer, to me, that was is a nightmare, right? Yeah. So we are going to get together to help Big John and to help him through some of these medical expenses and stuff that he's having. And so there's a show that's being put on by 301 Productions, and it's going to be at the Crucible on September 14th. And it's an early show. So doors open at 2 and it goes from 2 to 7. And the bands are going to be Abaddon's End, Mother Hive, Iron Plow, and Static Affliction. So it's a little bit of hard rock and some metal. John's a great drummer in a great metal band called Go Play God. And so for me, the interesting thing is it's going to be my comeback show, right? So in December, the day after Christmas, I had cardiac arrest while I was playing drums. And, when I woke up, the doctor said, well, you died on stage playing your drums with your band, but there were people there who wouldn't let you go. So, some CPR and AED to bring me back. And I was in my own hospital kind of journey, a health journey here. And so now, 9 months later, I'm going to be back behind the drums with my band, and I'm going to be doing it for this great cause of helping my friend out, Big John. And we're going to raise some money for him. There's going to be some silent auctions with guitars and some other really cool stuff that I know that they're putting together. And the Crucible is over on Madison's east side and just kind of the frontage road for Highway 30.
Okay. So what I didn't realize, you had a fundraiser like this, Rocker, too. And this is what I love about when something happens to a musician. Like if my friend who restocks shelves in a store, if I want to have a fundraiser for him, I don't have access to all this great music. When a musician needs a fundraiser, you guys basically throw a party. It's a bash. And that's great
true.
That this is open to the public, right? So
yes, of course.
So what band are you playing with?
I play with a band called Iron Plow.
Oh, that's right.
And I've been playing with the guys since we started during the pandemic, and it was during kind of lockdowns. And the three of us have all been friends for going on 30 years, but never really jammed in a band together. And I just happened to have been at a outing. It was a wedding actually outside. And I'm talking to my friend, and he says, hey, they're looking for a drummer. And I was like, wow. It was a perfect opportunity. Of course, I had been doing, Maximum Make Music magazine for 27 years, and the lockdowns caused that to kind of stop, and there's, nowhere to deliver. So here I am, what do? I have radio, and I got into a band. So, I got into this band in 2021, I think it was. And, and then I had this, crazy incident last year. And now the great thing about it, too, is that UW Health is doing what I could call it a documentary on my journey back to health. They love my story. They know about the first incident, and now here we're coming back, right? Getting behind the drums with my band. So they're going to come down to the Crucible with a film team to film the comeback show, and I'll be doing some interviews with them, and it's going to be pretty cool. They're going to kind of document the journey. It's a lot of fun. It's a crazy story. I guess, people kind of dig it, so we're going to have fun with it.
I think it sounds great, and I'm glad you're doing well, too, and back on stage. That's pretty exciting stuff.
Now, Conrad, I did send him a song, so if you guys wanted to hear a little Iron Plow.
Absolutely. Let's have it ready, Con. Rocker Smith is my guest. He is one of the hosts of Max Inc. Radio on WMDX every Saturday night from 6 to 9. And he is putting on this great fundraiser for his pal Big John Sunday night at the Crucible. Sunday afternoon, I should say, at the Crucible from 2 to 7. It's going to be a music fest and an absolute bash because the music community, nobody rallies around fellow colleagues like the music community.
Yeah, that's true.
Should be a lot of fun. So let's hear a little bit of Rocker's band right now, Iron Plow.
Rain comes heavy and it's coming just for me. Wind blows steady, rock the seas. Yeah. Arm of darkness coming in the dead of night. One day of morning it'll be alright. Alright. My Look around, I see the clouds begin to roll. We'll go on forevermore. Yeah, 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 yeah. My mind goes back to when we were young, and I feel so proud. Spread our wings and feel the night, and when we fly, we fly divine. We fly divine. Break the ice, I never wanted this to end. You and I forever friends. Yeah, 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 yeah. My mind goes back to when we were young, and I feel so proud. I'm going to sleep and dream of easy skies when the sun goes down. When you're breathing new sunrise, without you still hurts like hell. Spread our wings and feel the night, and when we fly divine. Ooh, we fly divine. Ooh, we fly divine.
All right, that was Iron Plow featuring our guest right now, Rocker Smith, who is here tonight to discuss a really cool fundraiser event for his pal Big John that is happening at the Crucible on Sunday. Great tune, Rocker. We're coming right back. Don't leave. And I'm going to ask Rocker about Supertramp and the death of Rick Davies. That's coming up next on Nightlight with Pete Schwaba on the Civic Media Radio Network.
In the midnight moonlight hour.
Wisconsin is cheering on Bucky Badger. This is the Civic Media Radio Network.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-511-5493. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-511-5493. That's 800-511-5493. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
With locations in Appleton and Oshkosh, Insight Eye Care has been serving the Fox Valley since 1972, offering comprehensive eye care services. Their doctors also share a special interest in treating chronic dry eye disease, providing specialty contact lenses, and expert pediatric eye care. Find Insight Eye Care on North Sawyer Street in Oshkosh and Chain Drive in Appleton. Improving lives by improving sight with quality eye care for everyone in your family. Insight Eye Care. Visit WIinsight.com to schedule your eye exam today.
If you're looking for an opportunity to be heard by the city, one has just presented itself. It's Amanda with another new Wisco 411. And on Monday, September 15th, from 6 till 7 p.m. at Titletown Brewing, you can stop by and chat about what's on your mind with Green Bay City District 7 Council member and Alderman Alyssa Profit. This is a new approach for her to get to know her neighbors, and she's eager to listen, learn, and hopefully act on your behalf. Check it out by heading to WGBW.FM and clicking events.
Doctors Without Borders is delivering life-saving medical care where it's needed most in communities around the world. From bandaging war-wounded patients in Sudan to providing clean drinking water in Haiti, we're in more than 70 countries worldwide, bringing patients from sick to recovering, from emergency to aid, from crisis to care. This life-saving care is made possible by a global movement of supporters like you. Thank you.
Snakes, zombies, public speaking, the list of fears is endless. But the real danger is in your hand when you're behind the wheel. Distracted driving is what's really scary and even deadly. Eyes forward, don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Missed your favorite show live on air? It's easy to find what you enjoy wherever you listen to podcasts, including Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. And we're always streaming on TuneIn and the Civic.
Get up home. I wanna drive them home. When you're feeling blue.
Welcome back. I'm Pete Schwaba. This is Nightlight. Our question of the night is, what is your favorite beer? It is National Beer Day. And we are hearing answers that are just all over the place. It's great. Microbrews, big-time brands. It's great. David from Richland Center says, a blonde walks into a bar, Hillsborough Brewing. You ever heard of that, Conrad?
I have not.
Me either. It's a lengthy title.
It sounds interesting.
It does sound interesting. I'm sure it's delicious. Thank you, David. On the line with us right now, or over the stream, I should say, is our pal Rocker. He is one of the co-hosts of Max Inc. Radio, which you can hear on WMDX every Saturday night from 6 to 9, and you can also stream it over the website. Rocker has put together a really cool fundraiser for his pal Big John that happens this Sunday at the Crucible in Madison on the east side. 3 great bands. We just heard Iron Plow. Rocker, it's interesting. That song that you played, I don't know if you saw a movie called Collateral, but it's got that really awesome grinding guitar as part of the score. It's a Michael Mann film, and it totally took me to that movie. The song is so, it's a great tune. Thank you for sharing that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that movie.
It's worth a look. It's Tom Cruise and Jamie Foxx, and it's just a great kind of caper action film, but a smart action film. So if people decide to go on Sunday for this good cause, is there a cover charge, or how does that work?
I believe it's a $12 cover charge.
Okay.
To see the show, 2 to 7 p.m. Doors open at 2, and Iron Plow plays at 5 p.m.
Excellent. So go see Rocker play the drums. That's exciting, man.
It's going to be fun. It's great to be back. To work this hard. From going from the ICU in the hospital in December to back behind the drums is, feels a little triumphant.
I would imagine it does, and congrats for that. Have you? So this is your first time on stage since December?
Well, not on stage necessarily, but playing drums on stage, yes.
Which is probably more of a little more activity than.
I do a lot of events and end up on stage for various reasons, but this particular one will be for drums.
That's fantastic. All right, so in our exchange earlier, you told me you did not watch the Video Music Awards.
No.
You don't watch TV. Do you
No.
own a color television?
I do. And of course, I guess I more choose to watch particular shows or, plenty of stuff that's out on YouTube that are just clips instead of, being kind of caught up in live TV or, being in front of the TV a lot. And even that stuff, I don't watch too much. But I love YouTube, and I love going back and finding all the, classic rock videos that were never available when I was young, of these, really great bands. And now it's, there's so much stuff that you could never see that's now so available, but you just have to find it.
Let's talk about that, because one of my favorite things about YouTube, especially before the ads popped up, you could get lost on YouTube for 6 hours and find like a Who concert from 1978 or a Springsteen show, whatever it is. It's like a whole world opened up. I can't imagine for a guy like you, a musician, it must be just fun to crawl down that rabbit hole sometimes.
Oh gosh, well, interestingly enough, there's a lot of old Supertramp out there. When they were just kind of up and coming, they played a lot of like colleges and local TV out there. Led Zeppelin was kind of famous for doing that as well. But it was really kind of fun finding that stuff on Supertramp. Supertramp was a band that I grew up with. I actually ran into Supertramp because the guy who drove the carpool, my friend's dad, to 7th grade. We were in 7th grade. He used to play Crime of the Century on the car stereo. And so I, started getting into it back then. It was kind of weird because it was like my friend's dad's music, but it was great stuff. And, grew with that band from that point forward, and was able to actually see him around the time that they did the Paris live album. So right kind of after the Logical song, Breakfast in America album. And by the way, I know you were playing It's Raining Again, which is like a Roger Hodgson song, right? So there were two kind of guys, Rick Davies and Roger Hodgson, that really played. And Rick Davies was the piano player, and he was the other voice. So you might recognize him more from Bloody Well Right or Goodbye Stranger. Those were kind of some of his really big songs. And the Logical song and It's Raining and, a lot of other hits. Take the Long Way Home was Roger Hodgson on vocals.
I love Roger Hodgson too. And that it's weird because I remember the Logical song was kind of what made me aware of Supertramp when I was younger, but it was all those songs I found after that that just kind of, in my opinion, dwarfed it. Like Goodbye Stranger is one of my all-time favorite songs anywhere.
Yeah. Well, that's on that album as well, right?
Yeah, and there was this song right before that on the album. I can't remember, but Give a Little Bit, all these great tunes.
Yeah, that's even in the quietest moments. So that was a great album. And even in the quietest moments, there's a lot of songs, too, where both Roger and Rick Davies both do vocals. And Roger Hodgson, he was very talented. He played the guitar. And a lot of people probably remember him playing the keyboards often on some of those big hits you were just talking about. But on the old albums like Crime of the Century, some of those videos I said that were out on YouTube, you can really see, some of those great guitar parts that Roger Hodgson played. Supertramp was just an incredible band. And, it's worth a watch to go watch the bass player of Supertramp. He's just watching him is so fun.
Oh, that's cool. And Roger Hodgson, Eye of the Storm is a great song too. He had I think he did that after he left Supertramp.
Yeah.
Buddy, thank you so much for your time as always, and best of luck. Break a leg on Sunday. Hope you.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
All right, that's Rocker. Check out Max Inc. Radio every Saturday night if you're in the Madison area on WMDX, or you can listen to it. You can get it on the Civic Media website. Great show, and he and Terry Barr do great work. Always fun to have Rocker on the show. When we come back, we're going to read some of your texts, and I've got a really funny Michael Keaton clip. This is Pete Schwaba and Nightlight on the Civic Media Radio Network. Act 2 coming up next.
There's only one thing I can say. You didn't stand by me. You're all alone. You didn't stand by me.
If it happens in Wisconsin,
Local news and timeless hits. WGBW, Denmark, Green Bay.
ABC News, I'm Stephanie Officer. Today, the GOP-led House Oversight Committee received new documents from the Jeffrey Epstein estate, which they subpoenaed for documents, including a copy of the alleged birthday book reportedly compiled for Epstein's 2003 birthday. It contains a one-page letter with a drawing from Donald Trump, ABC's Catherine Valders.
The Republican-led House Oversight Committee issued a subpoena to Jeffrey Epstein's estate. They subpoenaed the estate for the birthday book, for some financial records and other documents, and then got them returned to them today. And this letter was included in what they received. Now, the letter has been posted.
The president has denied writing the letter and filed a $10 billion defamation suit against the Wall Street Journal's owner. Researchers have confirmed the presence of the Asian longhorn tick, an invasive species, in Maine for the first time. It's capable of spreading infections like spotted fever. This is ABC News.
As Wisconsin is hitting the road on your Harley. This is the Civic Media Radio Network.
From the 97.9 WGBW newsroom, I'm Shali Pittman with this local news update. Wisconsin Democrats have introduced a package of bills they say would benefit workers. Savannah Tomei-Olson reports.
Most notably, if passed, their plan would repeal Act 10. The controversial law, championed by then-Governor Scott Walker, curbed collective bargaining rights for public sector employees. State Senator Mark Spreitzer.
This proposal will restore workplace fairness and ensure that those who benefit from union representation are contributing their fair share.
The bills would also strengthen laws against misclassification. That's basically where employers can call their employees independent contractors when they're really not. Democratic lawmakers say that can have a wide range of impacts. Businesses can avoid paying payroll taxes and unemployment, and they don't have to provide health and safety benefits. Larry Statz owns his contracting business. He says companies that misclassify their employees are saving so much money, they're able to undercut businesses who are following the law, like his.
More and more competitors have adopted the illegal business model of misclassification, where they mislabel their actual workers as independent contractors. They avoid paying taxes, Social Security, workman's comp, and unemployment benefits. A responsibility that honest employers like us take on every day.
This package of bills would also reinstate prevailing wage laws. Republicans repealed Wisconsin's in 2015. All 60 Democrats in the state assembly and state senate have signed on to these bills. However, because they don't have the majority, they're unlikely to go anywhere without Republican support. For Civic Media News, I'm Savannah Tomei-Olson.
And I'm Shali Pittman. News at the top and bottom of the hour all day and on demand anytime at WGBW.FM. 97.9 WGBW News.
The Crew in Texas. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports. Baseball, the Brewers taking on the Texas Rangers tonight. Yesterday, they completed a 3-game sweep of the Pirates with a 10-2 win in Pittsburgh. The Miz, Jacob Mizorowski. With the win, Danny Jansen at catcher, manager Pat Murphy.
I thought Miz got on track, around the 4th inning, and Jansen deserves a lot of credit for that. And he straightened out his sequencing and everything else and got him under control, and I thought he really settled down and pitched well.
NFL, the Packers with an early lead and went on to beat the Lions 27-13 at Lambeau Field, led by Micah Parsons on defense, who played despite a sore back.
The steroid pack was enough, and then the treatment. I'm telling you, the training staff every day on me, doing everything we have to do to strengthen it, feel confident in it, and obviously they feel confident for me to go out there today.
Lions head coach Dan Campbell.
Like I told the team, it's tough, and as bad as that is, it's not what it appears to be.
That's the Lions' Dan Campbell with Sports. I'm Mike Clemens.
As Wisconsin is cheering on Bucky Badger. This is the Civic Media Radio Network.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. After the chilly temperatures as of late, warmer readings are on the way this week. Tonight, a partly cloudy sky, a low in the low 50s. For tomorrow, increasing clouds, highs in the mid-70s. A chance of showers and storms tomorrow night and Wednesday. Currently, it's 66.
Jane Matnair and Greg Bach.
A handshake deal with a South Dakota senator to fund public radio. What could go wrong? Brian Wadsworth of Native Public Radio joins us.
Matnair on air, weekday mornings 9 to 11.
My name is DeMar Hamlin. I play for the Buffalo Bills, and I play safety. CPR saved my life. I've teamed up with the American Heart Association as a national ambassador to help create a nation of lifesavers, turning bystanders into lifesavers. Through CPR education and access to AEDs. Nearly 3 out of 4 cardiac arrests that don't happen in hospitals happen in homes. Join me to ensure everyone has the chance to live longer, healthier lives. Visit heart.org/nation.
I was stuck in a state of panic and endless rituals, so I made the call.
Mental health care works when you make the call. Visit mentalhealthcareworks.org. A message from the American Psychiatric Association Foundation.
You are never far away from your favorite radio station. We're always streaming on TuneIn and the Civic Media app. And if you
Broadcasting live from the Civic Media Studios in Green Bay, this is NIte Lite with Pete Schwaba, your inside source on everything entertainment from Wisconsin to Hollywood. And now, a guy who appreciates a nice hot meal at a fair price, Pete Schwaba.
Welcome back, folks. Great to have you with me on this Monday night. A beautiful night in the state of Wisconsin. Hope you are recovering from your weekend and glad you could be with me as we discuss the things in life that make us happy, like movies. And Rocker's fundraiser, which we talked about last hour at the Crucible in Madison on the east side. 3 big bands coming together. It is open to the public from 2 to 7. And the proceeds go to a good cause. Rocker's friend, Big John, who had a leg amputated. So, like I said, when musicians come together for good causes, that is something worth checking out because they bring great music. And that is the Sunday. In just a few minutes, we will welcome Wendy Loeb. I talked to Wendy on the phone. It was like a Zoom thing about this event Saturday night at the Green Bay Film Festival at the Tarleton. And I never clarified how to say her last name. How would you say that? Lobel?
Yeah.
Wendy Lobel.
Yeah.
It looks like that, but then, sometimes people have like more exotic.
Well, like Schwaba.
Like Conrad Krieger.
Krieger.
Pete Schwaba. No, there's no way to make Schwaba sound exotic. All right, Wendy will be here at 7:20 talking about her film. She made this really cool documentary about the connection between comedy and anxiety, comedians and anxiety. And it's called The Anxiety Club. And she is premiering the film Saturday evening at 7 o'clock at the Tarleton Theater here in Green Bay. I'll be hosting a Q&A after the screening. And it's going to be just a really fun night over at the Tarleton. So if you're in the Green Bay area, stop by and say hello. Check out this really cool film. Meet Wendy. Say hello to me. You can shake my hand. Conrad, I'm going to shake hands with people.
I thought you hate shaking hands.
That's a big night. Well, for special occasions, it's worth it. I'm not
Do you bring
elitist.
your hand sanitizer with you?
Every time I shake a hand, I do the squirteroonie. People get really upset. So that's Saturday night. Wendy will be here at 7:20. That will be fun to catch up with Wendy and learn more about her film. We talked about the death of Rick Davies a little bit with Rocker. I didn't realize that Roger Hodgson seems to have written more of the big Supertramp hits, but it's good to have a musician's perspective there. And our question of the night, folks, is what is your favorite kind of beer? It's National Beer Day, and we are celebrating beer in the state that made beer famous. One of them, anyway. I always used to, I thought I recalled that Milwaukee had more beer being brewed there than St. Louis. But I don't know if that's still true. I don't know what the beer capital is now, technically.
I would say Milwaukee's probably not anymore. They used to have, I don't think the Pabst is as it once was, because now it's mainly for tours.
They might not even brew it there anymore.
Yeah, I don't think they do.
At one point, it was Schlitz, Miller, Pabst, all the big beers. But, things changed. And I don't know. I know St. Louis has Budweiser and probably a few others. But either way, we're Wisconsin. We're known for beer. What is your favorite beer? We've got some great answers. We're going to get to some of your texts in just a few minutes. What else did we discuss, Conrad? We discussed lots of fun stuff.
We did discuss that Jacob's Best is the best beer.
What was the stream comment? Dave said, I found Jacob Huckstein, $3.99 a case. My uncle loved it. Not very drinkable. That's not a quality you need in a beer. So we have also, Conrad and I disagree. I talked a little bit about Task. I watched the first episode on HBO. Very good show. Conrad told me last week he really liked The Paper, the new spinoff of The Office. And I watched the pilot, and I told him during the break I didn't really like it. I thought it was tired. It just didn't have a Steve Carell or a Rainn Wilson. I was looking at this show during the first episode, which there are a couple laughs, but it's based on, a dying paper company, not paper company, a newspaper company. The Office was a paper company.
Yep.
And it's in Toledo, and it's kind of this 5 or 6 person staff. It's just kind of tired and sad, which is the state of the newspaper industry. And I'm like, how are they going to get seasons out of this? Who's funny on this show? The woman...
Esmeralda.
Esmeralda's funny.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
And, Oscar in the first episode is what brought me back to keep watching it.
Is he going to be a regular, though?
Yeah.
Oh, he is. I thought he was
He's
a guest star.
He's
Okay.
the accountant.
Yeah, like he was in The Office.
Yeah,
and he's transferred. He's still the same character.
And in the pilot, he's like, "Oh, not again."
Yeah, that was funny.
I don't want to talk to you. Stop following me.
It was funny, but it was like a retread. I'm like, it was good for a one-time laugh. You know what I did like was at the beginning how they said they showed Dunder Mifflin.
Yeah.
And they talked about all the companies that have come and gone since Dunder Mifflin left. And in a weird way, I kind of got not choked up, but I was like, oh, that's so sad. And they were talking to Bob Vance.
Yeah, Bob
who's
Vance.
still there. You know?
Vance
refrigeration. But you said it gets better.
I do think the first episode's kind of slow.
Yeah.
You don't get the huge comedy aspect, but you just keep watching it. And the episodes get more funny as they go on. And the last episode is hilarious.
All right.
And Esmeralda, I would say, is probably the character that just brings you laughs every episode.
It was a curious choice to cast her. She was great in White Lotus, but she's in Toledo, and she's this Italian with this thick Italian accent. I'm like, how did she get there? And she was the boss, too.
Yes, and a terrible one.
A terrible boss. And she was writing about the stuff we see on like Yahoo Entertainment News, like who uses what fingernail
Yes.
polish. That's the headline in the Toledo newspaper now.
You know,
that was funny.
In like I think the fourth episode, she brings one of those back. She's like, I think we should do this story. And it's horrible.
Okay. Well, I'll watch a couple more. I was not encouraged though, because I'm like, Steve Carell, Rainn Wilson, and then you bring in Ed Helms and BJ Novak, who at the time we didn't know it, but is a very good TV writer. It's gonna be tough to top that.
I mean, those are some top tier, actors.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be tough. I mean, but at that time when The Office started, they weren't. Probably some of them weren't.
Steve Carell was
big. Yeah, Steve was.
And Rainn Wilson made a splash. Like that guy, to me, he was a little over the top, personally, because I'm jaded, but he jumped out at you as a comedic force,
Yes.
Nobody did that on this.
Yeah, and Jim's character is hilarious in that too. And
right,
they do have one character that kind of resembles Jim just a little bit.
The main guy seems like he resembles Jim. Domhnall Gleeson.
I'd say him and I can't think of her name. The other lady,
the blonde.
Yes, she does some classic Jim looks in it.
Oh, interesting.
Looks at the camera, and yeah.
Okay. Our question of the night, folks. What is your favorite beer? Jim from Appleton in the 920 says, my favorite beer, Lady Luck from Carbon 4. All right, I have to admit, I'm not a huge beer drinker. I was always a spirits guy, so a lot of these beers I have not heard of. Are you familiar with this one, Conrad? Lady Luck?
I am not.
Great name for a beer. Thank you, Jim. You're giving us something to check out. This is like a information exchange when we do with TV and movies, too. So if you're beer connoisseurs, I have every reason to believe that our listeners know their beer. In the 414, again, but probably Bellican beer from Belize. Nice. That's Edward from the 414. Bellican beer from Belize. Interesting. Never heard of it. Thank you very much, Edward. Steve, Conrad's dad from Florida, checking in. Tell Conrad a frosty mug with spotted cow. I'm a fan of Leinenkugel Summer Shandy in a very cold bottle and a Guinness off the tap. Thank you, Steve. Did you know that it's an art form, pouring a Guinness?
Yeah.
They have to really teach bartenders how to do that.
Yeah, and crazy. I've seen people get mad that their Guinness is all foam.
They know their stuff, yeah. Tyler from Wisconsin Rapids, he's got a 608 area code. The beer that made Milwaukee famous in a frosty mug. Cheers, burp. Tyler spelled out burp. Thank you, Tyler. Barb from Waukesha says, love Modelo. I don't care for Corona at all. Too bitter. Interesting. I always thought Corona was like a lighter, not like Spotted Cow has kind of a fruit taste to it almost at times. I thought like Corona was not like that, but it was just light. I don't equate Corona with bitterness, but I guess I could see that.
It is pretty light. I'll say that. Corona compared to Modelo.
Thank you, Barb. John from Madison in the 608 says, hi, Peter and Caleb.
Yeah.
No respect.
Yeah.
It's Conrad, buddy. John knows that. I'm sure it was a typo. Stella Artois. Am I saying that right? Artois?
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 I don't know.
It's Artois. And Berghoff Bach. I feel like some of these people could be messing with me, just giving me beer names. I'm just going to read them because I'm not a beer connoisseur. But both are simply delicious if you are a beer lover with a decent palate for variety. Price is right for the Berghoff product. Both are slightly filling and full-bodied, so a sizer is perfect. I don't even know what a sizer is. Is it like a measuring thing?
I think that's a smaller.
A little bit. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Oh, he autocorrected saying sixer.
Okay, sixer. Yeah, I was like, oh, that's a. And I'm so glad I didn't just like go along with it and pretend I knew. Oh yeah, sizer. You got to have a sizer with a beer.
Every time you go to a bar, you're like, yeah, let me get a sizer.
Yeah, make sure I have a sizer on the side so I know them. Monica from Mount Horeb in the 608 says, I don't like beer that tastes like beer. So New Glarus, Raspberry Tart, and similar sours are the only beer I drink, despite being from Wisconsin. Monica, you and I are kindred spirits. I'm not a huge beer person either, but I do like when they get a little crazy. I like New Glarus, too. I like what they do down there. Anna from the 608 says, hi, Pete and Conrad. My favorite beer is a spotted cow, right?
Yum.
That's probably our winner tonight, right, so far?
I would say.
And it's a homegrown beer, much like Miller was. Spotted Cow is like the Miller of 50 years ago, maybe. John Murray says, yeah, back to calling you Caleb. Sorry, Conrad.
Yeah, I think you might already had a sixer.
Yeah.
That's why he called me.
John polishes off a sixer every show, doesn't he? By the end of the week, he has 30 cans of beer. No, that would be 36 cans. No, 5 times 6 is 30. Woo. How far away from a commercial are we?
Yeah.
414, maybe this is Edward again, says Jacob Best, born in Germany, died in Milwaukee, founded what would later become Pabst. So he had Jacob's Best, and then he discovered then he created Pabst. Am I getting that right?
That's what it sounds like.
Okay. I'm doing my best here, folks. Thanks for sticking with me. Mike from Cottage Grove, the 608 says Stella Artois. Oh, Stella's coming up on the left of Spotted Cow. Look at this. Oh, Steady Eddie from the 608 says, Pete, a delicious beer that brings back memories for me is Edmund Fitzgerald, a beer brewed in Ohio. That's interesting. I drank it after playing golf in a UW Tuesday evening golf league at the Glenway Golf Course at Madison. I always just had one. Please drink responsibly. Sipping a cold Edmund Fitzgerald on the clubhouse patio while swapping golf stories with the guys sure tasted good. Steady Eddie. That's a great text. He said, Conrad added a postscript.
Yes.
And he says, the Edmund Fitzgerald sank 50 years ago, November 10, 1975. The legend lives on. Well said, Steady Eddie. I would think you'd talk about shipping or shipwrecks while you're drinking an Edmund Fitzgerald. But hey, I don't want to tell you how to live your life. Nick from Marshall in the 608 says, Red Stripe, straight from the yard, Jamaica. I have never had a Red Stripe.
I haven't either.
There was a time in the 80s or 90s where everybody was drinking Red Stripe. Like it was getting out of hand. And I think John Grisham used to put characters in his books, used to drink Red Stripe when they were like in the, Jamaica probably. Sydney from Oregon says my favorite beer is Huge Ass. He's messing with me. I caught that one, though, Sydney.
It might actually be a beer.
It could actually be a beer.
I'll look it up during the break.
But he could be messing with me, too. Craig Kennett says, Pete, one of my favorites is Newcastle from England. So good. Keep those texts coming, folks. We will read them throughout the show. Coming up next, filmmaker Wendy Lobel will be here to talk about her documentary, The Anxiety Club. Fun film. We're going to tell you all about it. Coming up next, it's Pete Schwaba and Night Lite on the Civic Media Radio Network.
From Ashwaubenon to Alloway, this is 97.9 WGBW.
Appleton Cigar Company on College Avenue has been serving the community for over 25 years. If you are a cigar aficionado looking for a one-of-a-kind experience, you need to check out Appleton Cigar, which boasts the largest selection of cigars north of Milwaukee with over 706 cigars to choose from in a walk-in humidor. The Cigar Lounge offers an impressive variety of spirits and cocktails that pair perfectly with a premium cigar. For the full experience, come to Appleton Cigar at 415 College Ave, Monday through Saturday, 11:30 a.m. to 10:30 p.m. For more information, go to appletoncigar.com.
At Hazelden Betty Ford, treating mental health isn't just about breaking old patterns. It's about braving new ones. As the leader in alcohol and drug treatment for 75 years, we know caring for addiction, anxiety, depression, and trauma goes hand in hand. We're here for you with new tools when life breaks down. Discover your path to better mental health at hazeldenbettyford.org/Wisconsin. Sponsored by Hazelden Betty Ford Foundation.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
We are the National Park Foundation, and together with you, we're creating a future where every person, every generation, gets their chance at an unforgettable moment. Learn more at nationalparks.org/foundation.
Missed your favorite show live on air? It's easy to find what you enjoy wherever you listen to podcasts, including Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. And we're always streaming on TuneIn and the Civic Media app.
Your local Civic Media radio station is your source for real news and great conversation, plus fun and exciting contests. For a complete list of contest rules, log on WGBW.FM.
This is Nightlight with Pete Schwaba. I am Pete Schwaba. Conrad Krieger working the board tonight as we barrel through this Monday night. Finally back on the air after a long, arduous weekend of not being on the air. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to welcome to Nightlight a guest we haven't had on before. If you're in or around the Green Bay area this weekend, there's a film at the Green Bay Film Festival you might be interested in checking out. It's called The Anxiety Club. And joining me now to discuss this great film is the film's director and the Emmy Award-winning Wendy Lobel. Wendy, welcome. Oh, I think she's muted, Con. You might be muted, Wendy. We can't hear. We can see Wendy, but we can't hear Wendy. If you're watching on the stream, we will get this figured out momentarily. Sydney says best beer for sure is Phil McCracken. Now I know he's messing with me. And he says, okay, I'm done. Thank you, Sydney. Hey, I think we have Wendy now. Wendy, are you there? No, we got teased again. Con, let's figure this out. Conrad is on it. He's going to run to the car and get the tools. We will not keep you waiting too much longer, folks. Wendy Lobel is here, and I can ask her if I'm saying her last name properly. Because as a guy named Schwaba, I get where people could mispronounce even a name that looks like it should be easy to pronounce. We'll figure all that out, and we'll talk about the Anxiety Club as soon as we get things figured out here with our guest, Wendy Lobel. So the Green Bay Film Festival is this great festival, and they do things a little differently. They don't have like a full week-long lineup of just movies start to finish. They break it up into separate weekends. They do something about every 3 months, kind of a different format. And Wendy's film, The Anxiety Club, will be playing there this Saturday night at 7 o'clock. I'm introducing the film, and I'm going to host a Q&A that Wendy will stick around for. We'll discuss the film, and she's even brought in a team of mental health experts. So we're going to break down a little bit the comedy in the film, the comedians, and how they deal with angst. It's going to be a really fun night. And she's gone above and beyond to have this great discussion following the movie. So stick around for that. And I assume they still have tickets left. We'll ask Wendy that as well. But that is this Saturday night in Green Bay. So our question of the night, folks, you still have time to get in on the fun if you like, is what is your favorite beer? Mike from Cottage Grove chimes in again. He answered earlier, but he says, my second fave is Modelo. I'm telling you, Mike, I'm with you. I want to try a Modelo based on the commercials alone. Sometimes a commercial can really sell its product. And it does that with me, with Modelo. Just these dudes hanging out, that great music. I will try Modelo one of these days. Tomorrow night, folks, on Nightlight, we have another great show. Frank Hermans. Green Bay legend Frank Hermans will be here to talk about his new show. He's going to be in studio. We'll have Frank for a couple segments. I don't know if he'll perform or not, but he will be here in the flesh, and Frank is always a blast. And then we've got more fun tomorrow night, too, because we have a jam-packed show, actually, tomorrow night, because Sean Hanish, the director of Just a Bit Outside, the story of the 1982 Milwaukee Brewers, will be here at 7:05 because he has big news about his film. And Sean reached out over the weekend, and I thought, we got to share this because it's great stuff. And then from the Green Bay Film Festival, Nick Wattier will be here. He's been in studio several times before, and Nick is always fun to talk to. So he will give us the straight dope on a lot of what it will be happening at the Green Bay Film Festival over the next weekend. So how are we doing with Wendy, Con? Any luck?
Just need to get her phone number. That's
okay.
Yep.
We'll switch this to phone. She can stay on the stream. If you're watching on the stream, you'll still be able to see Wendy, but we'll talk to her on the phone. That'll work.
Yeah, Wendy, if you could see the stream, I sent you a chat. Just send the phone number in there, and I'll give you a call.
It's very frustrating because we have Wendy, but we don't have Wendy. And she's joining us all the way from New York. Wendy was on a show, and I'm going to ask her about this too. She's had a long, like I said, she's an Emmy winner, and I want to say she won her Emmy for Nick News. Do you remember that show, Con?
Nick News.
It was news geared toward kids that was on Nickelodeon. And she had like a 15-year run there. So I'm going to ask her about that as well.
It sounds familiar.
I still get all my news from Nick News. That's why I have trouble arguing politics sometimes, because all my news comes from Nick News. Yeah, lots going on this week, folks. We've got a fun show tomorrow. Then our pal Heather Heil will be in studio. We're going to give Heather a quiz. What did I say the quiz was going to be on? We're going to give Heather
John
Candy quiz.
Yes,
That's on Wednesday with Heather. She does great with our quizzes. And then the writer of The Threesome, a movie we talked about last week, Ethan Ogilvy will be here. He wrote this great script that they made into a movie, and they crushed it. It was well directed. Zoe Deutsch plays the lead. Ethan was on the show last April, right before their screening at the Wisconsin Film Festival, and he will be joining us Wednesday night to talk about this theatrical release. That does not happen all the time. This independent film that they shot did so well at festivals, somebody snatched it up and they're putting it in theaters. And then Terry Barr will be here on Thursday to make the popcorn pick of the week, because I will not be here Friday. And then Al Petrelli, that'll be fun, Con. Al's a great guest from the Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
He was on the show last year around this time too, and just his description of these Christmas shows that they do.
Oh man,
it just sounds awesome.
It's like spectacular. It's like a spectacle. So there you go. But our question of the night, folks, if you want to get in on the fun, is what is your favorite kind of beer? That's what we're talking about tonight, and that is our question of the night. And we have should we play? Do we have time to play that clip, the Bob Odenkirk one? No, we might be cutting it close.
Yeah,
we got a minute.
Yeah.
All right, we got to do the news. We'll get things squared away with Wendy. I can see her smiling face right now. She's with us, but she's not with us. She's here in spirit. We'll figure it out. This is Pete Schwaba and NIte Lite. We're coming back after Civic Media's news team keeps you informed. It's Pete Schwaba and NIte Lite. You've got the Civic Media Radio Network.
Senoritas who can sway. Right now, tomorrow's looking bright, just like the sunny morning light. And if you should see her, please let her know that I'm well, as you can tell. And if she should tell you that she wants me back, tell her no. I gotta go.
Hey, Wendy, can you hear me? You're muted on the stream. Can you unmute yourself quick?
Okay. Can you hear me?
Let me just do some
I
testing.
think it was, I disconnected my headphones. I think that was the problem. There was something going on with that. I think I'll be okay.
All right. I think I'm just going to call you. I think this will make it easier, but if you want to keep... Oh, wait, I can hear... All right,
can
yeah,
hear
go
me?
ahead.
Yeah.
Yes, I can hear you now.
Yay.
Awesome. All right. We'll be
Okay.
back. We'll be back in about 3 minutes. All right.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Okay.
McDonald's owner. Researchers have confirmed the presence of the Asian longhorn tick, an invasive species, in Maine for the first time. It's capable of spreading infections like spotted fever. This is ABC News.
The Crew in Texas. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports. Baseball, the Brewers taking on the Texas Rangers tonight. Yesterday, they completed a 3-game sweep of the Pirates with a 10-2 win in Pittsburgh. The Miz, Jacob Mizorowski. With the win, Danny Jansen at catcher, manager Pat Murphy.
I thought Miz got on track, around the fourth inning, and Jansen deserves a lot of credit for that. And he straightened out his sequencing and everything else and got him under control, and I thought he really settled down and pitched well.
NFL, the Packers with an early lead and went on to beat the Lions 27-13 at Lambeau Field, led by Micah Parsons on defense, who played despite a sore back.
The steroid pack was enough, and then the treatment. I'm telling you, the training staff every day on me, doing everything we have to do to strengthen it, feel confident in it, and obviously they feel confident enough for me to go out there today.
Lions head coach Dan Campbell.
Like I told the team, it's tough, and as bad as that is, it's not what it appears to be.
That's the Lions' Dan Campbell. With sports, I'm Mike Clemens.
On your entertainment beat, I'm Pete Schwaba. Spike Lee's new film, Highest to Lowest, starring Denzel Washington, was supposed to be a wide release in theaters a couple weeks ago, but the game plan changed. Instead, it was released in a limited run, but is now available to stream. This is the 5th time Lee and Washington have worked together. Highest to Lowest is a thriller that tells the story of a music mogul played by Washington who is being ransomed. The film had its premiere at Cannes, but as of September 5th, you can now see it for free, sort of, if you have Apple TV. I recently discussed the kids' show Bluey on Nightlight with my civic media colleague, Stuart J. Waddles. During the interview, we talked about this great show that he watches with his kids. It's funny, sweet, and sort of hypnotic in moments. Well, Stuart, his kids, and all fans of Bluey will be happy to know there's a feature film version on the way. If you haven't seen Bluey, prepare to be dazzled. Disney and BBC have announced that it will hit the big screen August 6th of 2027. For more showbiz fun, tune in to Nightlight with me, Pete Schwaba, weeknights from 6 to 8 p.m. on the Civic Media Radio Network.
As Wisconsin has a game of cribbage with good friends, this is the Civic Media Radio Network.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. After the chilly temperatures as of late, warmer readings are on the way this week. Tonight, a partly cloudy sky, a low in the low 50s. For tomorrow, increasing clouds, highs in the mid-70s. A chance of showers and storms tomorrow night and Wednesday. Currently, it's 66.
For 75 years, the Muscular Dystrophy Association's voices have thundered through the halls of Congress.
For 75 years, we've willed the impossible into existence.
For 75 years, the MDA community has pushed the science,
shifted the narrative, and established the field of neuromuscular medicine.
And until that day, when this is all a thing of the past,
you couldn't stop us if you tried.
Join us and celebrate 75 years of breakthroughs at MDA75.org.
You are never far away from your favorite radio station. We're always streaming on TuneIn and the Civic Media app. And if you missed your favorite show or game, listen to a podcast of it anytime on the app or our website, civicmedia.us.
Small businesses are the heart of America. As the nation's largest nonprofit resource of expert business mentoring, SCORE has helped millions of entrepreneurs build their businesses for free. Find a mentor today at score.org.
Jane Matnair and
Welcome back. Great to have you with me tonight on this beautiful Monday night here in the state of Wisconsin as we broadcast statewide from beautiful downtown Green Bay. Green Bay, the site of the screening of my next guest's movie here at the Green Bay Film Festival this Saturday. I believe we have everything ironed out now, so it is my pleasure to welcome Wendy LaBelle. How are you, Wendy?
Hi, I'm good, Pete. How are you?
I'm well. Am I saying your last name properly?
Yes, now you are. It's LaBelle, and you said
LaBelle.
it right just then, so thank you.
Okay.
Thanks for asking.
Excellent. Yes. Well, carrying the name Schwaba my whole life. I've had my woes when it comes to people pronouncing my name, so I'm very sensitive to that. It is great to have you here. We are looking forward to having you here right down the street at the Tarleton on Saturday night. Let's talk about that and get right into the screening. Tell us a little bit about the Anxiety Club.
Well, Anxiety Club is a documentary, as you know, and it's funny and it's heartfelt. It's about the experience of anxiety through the eyes of comedians. And there are 7 comedians, including one who we followed through exposure therapy, which is an evidence-based treatment for anxiety. And it's a pretty bold move for people who do it, but it can be very effective. And so it's looking at the universal experience of anxiety, but using comedians to talk about it, to talk about a serious subject. So it's pretty funny. It's pretty touching.
I have to tell you, I was, I don't know if I mentioned this the other day on the call. In the 90s, I was a comedian. I toured all over for only for like 8 years, not for very long. And I kind of switched to writing, but my favorite comics and my best friends were always the comics who were a little angst ridden. Not the guys who couldn't wait to get up on stage and go, look at me. It was people that had to overcome something, or they were a little bit neurotic, because I find that you can mine great comedy out of those little quirks. Did you find that making this movie?
Oh, yeah. I mean, on one hand, the anxiety that the comedians experience is similar to what anyone with anxiety might experience. But what's unique about the comedians is that they're spending their days and nights, introspective, thinking about their mental health, thinking about, how they see the world from their perspective. It's, they use it as fodder for their material. And I think it's helpful to them. It's not a cure. It's not therapy, but it's a way that they're able to kind of work out some of the things that they're feeling. And it's just good for the rest of us, because we get to, feel less alone and see ourselves through their eyes. And I don't know, it wasn't the initial plan for the film. The original plan was going to be doing a film about regular people, like me with anxiety. And it evolved into comedians. And it's just been really resonating with people because it's very accessible and relatable. And the comedians are hilarious and vulnerable. So I feel very lucky that it all worked out as it did.
That's really interesting. How did that happen? What made you kind of switch gears and go and add the comedians to this?
It was a long process of looking for the right people. And at a certain point, my husband, who is very into comedy, he said, why don't you, maybe include a comedian or an actor or like a compelling host, kind of like a Michael Moore type of a thing. And I started looking into comedians, and it was at that point, it was really no turning back, because, finding these comedians who were not only funny, but they were doing material, sketch comedy or stand-up comedy about their anxiety. And it just was a really great way to illustrate what the experience of anxiety is. So it just kind of worked. And so and I think, when I think about had I done the original concept, it would have been much more boring. It would have been a completely different kind of a film. And I think, anxiety is tough. It's people who have anxiety. I have anxiety. I've struggled with it for most of my adult life. It's not fun. And I think when you see people who have anxiety and who are putting it out there to the world in a really funny way, it's just really kind of helpful. So
this is interesting that you're doing this. I have another question about the comedy, but I find it interesting. After the film, you're going to take part in a Q&A. I'll be there hosting it. And then you have members of the AT&T Center here in Green Bay joining you to talk about mental health and comedy.
Yeah.
Interesting. What made you decide to make them part of the post-film get together, so to speak?
I really can't take any credit for that, because it was the film festival that reached out to me and told me that they wanted to incorporate some psychologists who were local. And I was like, great. I mean, it just makes it that much more interesting for a panel, to participate in a panel when, there's me, the filmmaker, but being able to have these other people on the panel, for a Q&A, it's just a great idea. And I met them on Zoom for the first time the other day, and they're great.
Yeah.
And they, I'm looking forward to hearing what they have to say. I mean, there's one woman who does the same kind of anxiety, same kind of therapy, the exposure therapy that we feature in the film. And there are other kinds of therapy that many kinds of therapy that they practice at this center, and 4 of the psychologists from the center will be at the festival.
Wow.
So I think it should be great, and I think it'll be an opportunity for people not only to learn more about the filmmaking process, but to learn more about their own anxiety and to be able to ask questions about their own struggles and hear from professionals. I think I'm excited about that.
Absolutely. My guest is Wendy Lobel. She is the director of the Anxiety Club, which you can see here at the Green Bay Film Festival this Saturday night, September 13th at 7 o'clock. I will be there hosting a Q&A. Wendy will be on site, so to speak, as well as a team of therapists to answer all of our questions. Wendy, you said, it was interesting. You said when you switched and you kind of found direction with comedians.
Yeah.
One of my questions was, I write all these intros for PBS Wisconsin and a POV and Independent Lens, and I've seen so many documentaries. It's hard to get people to talk on camera. Once you do, that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be interesting.
Yeah.
When you decided to use comedians, like how, and maybe not even with this documentary, but how do you get your subjects in a documentary so they're just not talking heads? Like in a narrative, you explain the character on a piece of paper, on the script. How do you do that as a documentary filmmaker? That must be a huge challenge.
You meaning to get them to open
get them
up
to
and
be entertaining? Yeah, to give us some character background and that kind of stuff.
I mean, first of all, I knew that these people were going to be interesting because I watched a lot of their stand-up or sketch videos. I listened to some interviews with them. I talked to them on the phone or on Zoom. So I had a sense that they were going to be interesting, but you never know how vulnerable a subject will be when you're sitting there and there's a camera in front of them and, they're being asked very personal questions. I think, in the case of this film, they all knew that I could relate to the experience of anxiety. So they were talking to somebody who experienced some of the same things that they have. So that right off the bat, I think was helpful. And I don't know. I mean, I think it's just like you sit down and you start having a conversation, and after a little bit of time, it just kind of, you just go into a different zone, or you hope that that's what happens. And I feel like it did. I mean, the interviews were probably about 90 minutes each. So it's long enough to dive in a bit. And, they also knew, I told them all, like, if there's anything that they don't want to talk about, it's fine. It's up to them. They're steering the ship. But, I'm not afraid to ask hard questions and see what happens. And they just, I don't know, they were all really great. And I think I've done so many interviews over the course of my career. I was in television for a long time. As you mentioned Nick News. I don't know, did you used to watch Nick News?
I remember it. I kind of made the joke that that's where I still get all my hard-hitting news from, and that's why I can't talk politics. But
right.
I want to ask you about that later too, but you have some star power kind of in this documentary, at least in the comedy world. Mark Maron.
Yeah.
How did you get Mark Maron? And he's got to be, man, when I saw that he was in this film, I'm like, he's the perfect guest or subject. Right? It seems like
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, I felt like, he was one of the comedians that obviously I knew of him. I followed him. And so I was really determined to get him because he's like the poster child for, an anxious comedian. And so I met him at an event and I asked if I could speak to, I told him about the film and he seemed interested. And I asked him if I can get in touch with his manager and I did. And it took a little bit of time. It was a little bit of a back forth, but eventually it happened, and I went to his office, not the garage where he did his
podcast
interviews for WTF. It was a nice office, and I had him for about an hour and a half, and he was great. He had a cold that day, so he was a real trooper, and he plays such an important role in the film. There's just like a certain wisdom that he has, and that really came across, and he's very different from the other comedians.
Well, it's got to be interesting too, because just recently he's been going after Bill Maher and kind of calling him a fraud and trying to stay relevant. So Marc Maron has put himself back out there a little bit too. Right. As a filmmaker with Marc in your film, you must love that, right?
Right. Well, it's funny that because you just never know who is. I mean, I feel like I've been pretty lucky so far that nobody's been canceled, or haven't been any nightmares. You don't know. I mean, there have been some. One of the characters got divorced during the edit process, and so that was a little. I'm such a people pleaser. I was like, oh no, how are we gonna? I wanted to make sure, that she wasn't going to be upset. He was still going to be in there, but of course we had to keep going, and right. So. Other than that, that's all worked out. But I trust that Marc Maron, he's going to get himself into trouble, but he has a way of getting out of it as well.
Right. We have about a minute before we have to do a break, and then we'll do a short break, and I'll keep you for a couple more minutes before we let you go. But with about a minute left, I want to ask you, what did you learn, A, about comedy doing this, and B, about mental health while making this film?
Well, I mean, one thing I've learned about comedy, it's kind of related to the anxiety because, there are so many people who are surprised, shocked even, that these comedians have anxiety and they're able to go on stage and be in front of all these people doing comedy. But, what was surprising is that many of them feel most comfortable on stage. They feel more comfortable on stage than they do off stage, talking to fans. So I think that was one thing that was really interesting. I think also, I'm sure there are some people who think that, if you go up there and you talk about your mental health, you're going to be fine and that's your therapy, but that's not the case. I know you have to take a break. So
we could pick up there on the other side of the break.
Okay.
That's great. And maybe, folks, I'll even ask Wendy what her favorite kind of beer is. That's all coming up next. We'll have a couple more minutes with our guest, Wendy, and we'll tell you all about her screening, too, here in Green Bay this Saturday night. It's Nightlight with Pete Schwaba on the Civic Media Radio Network.
First look, fire is only desire, and my heart shivers and I'm shaking off this rust. Storms out the clouds are breaking up. Took some time, but I realize I don't deserve being mistreated.
As Wisconsin is saying the word bag instead of bag. This is the Civic Media Radio Network.
School sports are played by humans, coached by humans, and officiated by humans. So the next time you're sitting in the stands at a school athletic event, please remember this and maintain your humanity, especially when it comes to judging and critiquing athletes, coaches, and officials. Please show your fellow humans some respect. They'll appreciate your empathy.
This message presented by the WIAA and the Wisconsin Athletic Directors Association.
Hey, I got your Wednesday date night idea right here. That's right, it's another new Wisco 411. And Wednesday, September 10th, starting at 5:30 p.m. when the doors open. It's the 6:30 concert series Resch Institute of Music Faculty Showcase at the Widener, where you'll get to hear beautiful performances by faculty and alumni and so much more. And what's great about this? It's free to attend, completely open to the public. So try something new for date night this week. Head to WGBW.FM and click events to find out more.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Teachers are diverse, skilled leaders, innovating to prepare students for our fast-changing world. Teaching shapes lives. Are you ready? Explore teaching at teach.org, supported by the U.S. Department of Education and 1 million teachers of color.
Missed your favorite show live on air? It's easy to find what you enjoy wherever you listen to podcasts, including Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. And we're always streaming on TuneIn and the Civic Media app.
Your local Civic Media radio station is your source for real news and great conversation, plus fun and exciting contests. For a complete list of contest rules, log on wgbw.fm/contest-terms. As Wisconsin is dropping a line in your favorite fishing spot, this is the Civic Media Radio Network.
Is getting vaccinated on your to-do list? We can help you check that off.
You've got this.
Yes, you do. See how we've got you at yougotthis.usaging.org. A message from the Aging and Disability Vaccination Collaborative, powered by US Aging.
Welcome back. Tomorrow night on Night Lite, Frank Hermans, the legendary Frank Hermans, will be here in studio talking about his new show. Sean Hannish joins me to talk about his documentary, Just a Bit Outside. There is new news, and Nick Wattier from the Green Bay Film Festival will be here, which is a perfect segue to our current guest, Wendy Lobel, who is here. She is the director of the film The Anxiety Club, which makes its Wisconsin premiere anyway. Have you played other festivals with the film so far?
Yeah, it's screened at about 18 festivals.
Oh, wow.
So far, yes.
Good for you, Wendy.
Thank you.
That's
yeah.
outstanding. So you were talking about what you learned about comedy and mental health while making this film. Please finish.
Yeah, so one of the things about comedians is that, it's not therapy. Doing stand-up is not therapy. So I think it's a way of like working things out, but then they get off stage and their anxiety, and they might have like a little reprieve from their anxiety, but then it comes back, and they're all in some form of therapy, either currently or were before, or doing other using other tools. So that was something that's maybe not so surprising. I think for me personally, I think one of the interesting things I learned about anxiety is that it's not like with treatment you can be expected to not have any anxious thoughts anymore. So you're going to have the thoughts. It's more a matter of how do you respond to them, and if you respond in maladaptive ways, if you avoid things, and if you're people pleasing, and if you over research, and if you say you're sorry all the time, or there are all these kinds of things that we do so that we don't feel our feelings. And so it's very much about I think, in my opinion, it's about going toward, not being afraid of the feelings, going towards them, interrupting the ruminating thoughts that many people with anxiety get. But again, it's not that you're going to stop having those thoughts. It's a matter of what you do with them.
So what do you do after you do this like scientific deep dive into mental health and comedy and the connection? Like, what do you do next, Wendy?
Yeah, well, I am planning to live in this world for a while, meaning that, we're doing a long distribution process, and we're doing, we still have quite a few festivals. We're doing a lot of screening events, like community screenings with mental health organizations, comedy festivals, colleges and universities. So that's something that's going to last for a long time. Where, it's a slow methodical rollout, and I plan to be a part of that and try to bring the film to the audiences that need it most. And at some point, I'll start thinking about another project. But right now, I'm as busy as I was when I was making the film.
Oh, that's great.
But it's really fun and it's exciting.
Do you have, before we get into Nick News, do you have a favorite beer?
That's funny. I'm not a big beer drinker. I mean, I would say that if I had to pick one, it would be Blue Moon, but I think it's just because of the orange slice. I'm more of a, hard cider person, or, rosé, or maybe a little bourbon here and there.
It's champagne coolies all the way with me, but I'm with you on the Blue Moon. I love a Blue Moon, a little orange. So you won an Emmy for Nick News. You worked with Linda Ellerby. What a great run. To have that kind of run in show business is incredible. How did you go from there? What do you miss more? Or what invigorates you more, I should say? The daily grind of a TV show, or trying to make a documentary to get it out there?
Oh gosh. I mean, it's just like, it really is like apples and oranges. I mean, I was so lucky to have that job and to work with Linda Ellerby for all these years. The show, Nick News, was an amazing show. We were interviewing kids all the time about, doing these shows about really important topics. Sometimes they were serious, sometimes they were fun. So that was amazing. I never felt like it was a grind, because it's not like it was a daily news show. It was like we were doing, an episode a month essentially. And I wasn't, and there were other people. There were several people on the team. So it was great. I just loved that. And then she retired. And the show, it's still on the air in a different form, but, I was working for her production company, and we knew well in advance that she was going to be retiring, and that was going to be it for Lucky Duck Productions. And so, making a documentary was something I really wanted to do. And I had done an episode for Nick News on kids with anxiety. And so that was really how it all began. When I had done that, and I had filmed with kids who were really struggling, and it just kind of came out of that experience.
Wendy LaBelle, it's been great meeting you. I'm glad we got our tech problems figured out. I'm really looking forward to meeting you in person Saturday night and seeing your amazing film, and it's going to be a great night. Looking forward to the Q&A as well. So break a leg this weekend, and we'll talk then.
Thanks. We'll see you soon. Appreciate it.
Have a great night.
You too.
Thank you. That's Wendy LaBelle. Check out at the Tarleton Theater this Saturday night, folks, The Anxiety Club. Very excited to see this movie and to meet Wendy. Great work, and no small task winning an Emmy in the world of TV. That's pretty good stuff. Do we miss something, Conrad? I know we kind of break our share of news here too. We got people rely on us to get the big stories out there, like is David Hasselhoff making a comeback or not?
We do got a couple texts to read.
Oh, we do?
Yes.
Well, we can't miss those. Rachel from Milwaukee, she says, how about some NA beer representation? Lagunitas?
I don't know how to say that, but those are really good.
Hoppy Refresher, anyone.
Yeah, those are great.
Way to represent, Rachel. And I agree. And Blue Moon Non-Alcoholic is my beer these days, so I'm totally with you. But thank you for weighing in. I really appreciate the text. And Bridget, our pal Bridget from the 818 says, Line and Kugel Summer Shandy, a great, refreshing summer beer. Boy,
so
Blue
good.
Moon, Line and Kugel, Spotted Cow. We definitely have our favorites here in Wisconsin. Hey, we're coming back tomorrow night to do all this again, folks. Thanks to Rocker. Thanks to Wendy LaBelle. On behalf of the lovable producer Conrad, I'm Pete Schwaba saying good night, Wisconsin.
Don't